Longhorn Nation, you are listening to Burnt Orange Rising. The pride and winning tradition of the University of Texas will not be entrusted to the weak or the timid. Hey North, you ready? Let's get it.
What's up, Longhorn Nation? I'm your host, North Carter, and you are listening to Burnt Orange Rising. Now, today, you probably won't hear me complain or rant a lot because we get to talk about 2025 Softball National Champions. That's right. Today, we're talking about Texas softball. The 2026 season is almost upon us, and y'all, I'm excited. I'm excited because the champs are back. I can't promise you a national championship. What I can promise you is that you will get better. This is what Mike White has always told his incoming recruits. Last year, he delivered on that promise. The only question is, can Texas repeat this year? Let's dive in to the 2025 defending champs, the Texas Longhorns. The national champs are back. Texas starts the season off on February 5th in San Antonio against Nebraska, then goes on to play Washington. We're definitely going to find out quickly just how good this Longhorn team is, just how great of a fast start they can get off to. Now, talent isn't the problem for this Texas team. Texas is loaded with talent. Texas brings back a lot of experience from last year's national championship team. Texas also reloaded when it comes to recruiting. Now, here's the thing with Mike White. Unlike other programs, Mike White doesn't big game hunt in the transfer portal. Mike White develops and Mike White recruits. All the talent that he's developed the last few years, you're going to see on display this year. Texas currently tied number one in multiple polls with Texas Tech. Those polls include USA Softball, D1 Softball, and ESPN.com. And I understand the hype. I'm high on Texas this year. I'm super high on Texas. Texas has one of the most experienced and talented rosters in the country, hands down. You can even say this Texas team is more experienced and more talented than OU. For the first time in a long time, you can actually say that. Now, don't get me wrong. OU is full of talent, and they're not as experienced as Texas is, but they still got raw talent. We all know what OU can do with raw talent. Experience don't mean a damn thing with them. I want to make sure I make that clear. OU is still a very, very talented team. It just so happens this year, Texas may be more talented. But let's break it down. The players who are gone from last year's roster includes third baseman Mia Scott, who I'm going to miss dearly. Without Mia Scott, I can full-heartedly say Texas would have not won that national championship last year. Mia Scott was a silent assassin. She was the heart and the soul of this team. Now, she may not have talked that much, but her actions spoke volumes on the diamond. Mia Scott will probably go down as a Texas Longhorn legend when it's all said and done. That's how great she was last year, and that's how great her career was. I'm going to miss Mia Scott. And I hope to God that we have a Mia Scott prototype on this roster because we're going to need one, especially at third base. Gone is Mac Morgan. Mac role either changed a lot. I think she only came in to usually close games. I don't really think she started a lot of games. And I think she got off to a slow start, but when it mattered, she came through for us. She had a good career at Texas, a great career at Texas, helped us out in a lot of different areas, helped us win a lot of different games. So she is definitely going to be missed. I know Mike White's going to miss her, especially all the variety of different pitches that she threw out. Yeah, Texas is going to miss Mac Morgan. She meant a lot to that roster last year. Definitely going to miss her competitive spirit. Gone is Jolie Mitchell, another dog that we're going to miss. And once again, I hope that we have a Jolie Mitchell prototype somewhere on this roster. Jolie Mitchell started her career at Notre Dame, transferred to Texas, and since she transferred to Texas, she couldn't be stopped. She got us out of a lot of moments last year, was solid on defense, and also provided runs on offense. And Texas is going to miss that production. So shout out to Jolie Mitchell. Good luck in her future endeavors and whatever she wants out of life. I hope she accomplishes, which I'm sure she will. Gone is Sophia Simpson, pitcher for Texas. Now, Sophia probably didn't have the career that she wanted at Texas, but she started out strong, especially as a freshman. Started games, won that big game against OU a couple years back. She has that fiery spirit, huge competitor, great arm. Last year, we didn't see her that much, though. And I don't know why we didn't see. I don't know if it was an injury. I thought she was going to redshirt and transfer out. She didn't. She graduated. She's gone. But happy to have Sophia as a Longhorn. She will definitely be missed. And good luck to your future endeavors, Sophia. Also, walk-on Rachel Wells went into the transfer portal, but I don't think she got picked up by any team. But, hey, once a Longhorn, always a Longhorn, right? Now, let's get to the players who are returning for Texas. And up first, All-American, all everything, all you can ask for in a player. And I just love her chant too. I love when they chant this. Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. Reese's Cup, Reese's Cup. Reese Atwood is back. That's right. Catcher senior Reese Atwood is back. Has 75 hits, 21 home runs, and 89 RBIs. I can go on for days about Reese Atwood, what she's done for Texas, how many jams Reese Atwood has got us out of. Looking back now, I'll never get over last year against Tech in the College World Series whenever they tried to walk her and Reese Atwood swung. Reese Atwood swung the bat. That just shows you what type of competitor she is. Reese Atwood showed no fear. Reese Atwood was ready for the moment. If you're going to throw that ball over the plate, the awareness that she had to swing at that was just remarkable. Any other player, I feel like, would have just let it go and take her walk. Not Reese Atwood. Reese Atwood recognized the moment, and she knew that she had to do something to get her team going, and she did it. I'm looking forward to watching Reese Atwood this year. Holds multiple records for Texas. Sure, she's going to break some records for Texas this year. Just overall, one of the best Longhorns to ever put on a jersey for Texas. One of the best hitters that we've seen since Taylor Hoagland, in my opinion. So welcome back, Reese Atwood. I know she spent a lot of time with USA softball this past offseason. I'm sure that she worked on her game. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bigger, better Reese Atwood. A stronger, smarter, more competitive Reese Atwood. And that's a dangerous Reese Atwood. Next, we have senior outfielder Ashley Maloney. 93 hits, 23 RBIs. Between Maloney and Caden Henry, those are two players who I know that at any moment, whenever they're up, they're going to get on base or get a hit whenever we need it. I have no doubt that whenever they're at the plate, they're going to do something for this team. And we need them. If we want to repeat, Maloney and Henry are vital for our success. And that brings me to junior outfielder Caden Henry. 85 hits, 4 home runs, 30 RBIs. And just think about that. Between those two, 93 hits, 85 hits, 30 RBIs, 23 RBIs, 53 RBIs between the two. And they're slap hitters. Obviously, Henry can go yard if she wanted to. She can bat for power. And they both bat at the top of the lineup. So if you're Reese Atwood, you're licking your chops. And this is how Texas found success last year, and this is how they're going to find success this year. Also back, and this is a player who I've always been high on. I just think that sometimes she needs to get out of her own head. Super talented. Has a chance to be up there with Reese Atwood when it comes to hitting. And that's catcher, infielder, junior Katie Stewart. 75 hits, 80 RBIs, 17 home runs. I mean, her numbers are damn near close to Reese Atwood's. Identical hits, almost identical RBIs, and almost identical home runs. Only thing about Katie Stewart is she's great at home, but on the road, I felt like she just was inconsistent. If we can get a consistent Katie Stewart along with Reese Atwood, along with Henry, along with Maloney, this lineup is going to be potent and dangerous. We got to get Katie Stewart going. And I hope Mike White found the formula for her this offseason because she can be deadly. Back as senior infielder Leanne Good, 54 hits, 34 RBIs, 10 home runs. Leanne played shortstop last year because Vivi Martinez was injured. Obviously, she helped us win a national championship, but I felt like her true home was at second base, where she's super consistent. And Mike White said that she will be back at second base this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't ever want to see Katie Stewart play shortstop ever again. That's a terrible act. I understand you need depth, but don't put Katie Stewart at shortstop. She looked uncomfortable whenever you put her there, and you could tell that she just doesn't belong there. Don't put Katie Stewart back at shortstop, Mike White. Please, I'm begging you. Back is all everything, all American, all you can ask for, junior pitcher Tegan Cavan. Once again with Reese Atwood, there's not enough that I can say about Tegan Cavan. Fiery, competitive spirit. She doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, but she definitely has that dog in her. Tegan helped us win a lot of games last year, came in a lot of moments, pitched a lot of pitches, especially when we played against Texas Tech in the regular season. That duel with Najee Kennedy, I think we went into extra innings. Texas came out with the dub. That was because of Tegan Cavan. Offense didn't give us no help that game. Tegan Cavan just held her ground and got us a dub. And we're going to need her a lot this year. If we want to repeat this year, it's going to be on the arm of Tegan Cavan. I understand the freshman that everyone's talking about is coming in, super talented, a lot of potential, but this is Tegan Cavan's team, in my opinion. Tegan Cavan's mound. Texas want to repeat. She got to put on a show just like Kennedy. I expect a lot from Cavan this year, and I know she can rise to the occasion. Also back as senior pitcher, Satali Gutierrez, talented pitcher, started a lot of games for us throughout her career, super consistent, and a great competitor. I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do on the mound beside Cavan, Brinley Gonzalez, Salmon, and the freshman Hannah Wells. Texas has a great pitching rotation, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But making her return back from injury, 2024 D1 second team softball All-American shortstop Vivi Martinez. Before there was Reese Atwood, there was Vivi Martinez. If you forgot who Vivi Martinez is, let her reintroduce herself. You want to know who was one of our best hitters in 2024? Vivi. Vivi was super consistent. Anytime we needed a run, anytime we needed our RBI, she came through. Reese Atwood picked up the slack last year, but if you're going to give me Reese Atwood, Ashton Maloney, Kaden Henry, Katie Stewart, Leanne Good, who can also go yard, and Vivi Martinez in the same lineup, if this Texas lineup reaches its full potential, it's damn near going to be the same lineup that we saw with the COVID team. Iacopo, Miranda Ellis, y'all remember all of them? Y'all remember that lineup? That team would have won a national championship if COVID never happened. That team looked like a damn football team out there when they put up points. This team has a lot of potential, especially on the offensive side and the defensive side. Obviously, we've had problems at that shortstop position, especially last year with Vivi gone, but that's going to shore up a lot of things. That was our main weakness on defense. But with Vivi back, I expect a lot of that stuff to get cleaned up quick, fast, and in a hurry. Welcome back, Vivi. You definitely have been missed. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do out there. Atwood, Maloney, Henry, Kavan, and Stewart are all on the U.S. Collegiate Player of the Year watch list. They are also D1 preseason All-Americans, and they deserve it based off of their performance from last year. Y'all know how I am. What you gonna do for me this year? Obviously, I'm not worried about these players. I think they'll perform. Hopefully they all can stay healthy and live up to the expectations that's been presented to them. Now let's get to the newcomers. The first one I think is the big one. Pitcher Hannah Wells, 2024-2025 Gatorade National Player of the Year, high school phenom. Wells compiled a record of 22-1 in the circle with a 0.44 earned run average and struck out 258 batters in 127.2 innings, recording 60% of her outs by way of strikeout. That is ridiculous. She recorded 15 shutouts and 23 starts, included a no-hitter and 2 perfect games. Wells also batted .602 with 75 RBIs, and she had the single-season home run record at 31 runs and also the state career record with 86 home runs. I want y'all to think about that. That's damn near legendary for this high school phenom, and she'll be playing for Texas this year. Mike White has already said that she's fearless. She wants to be great. She wants that number 1 position. That's her mindset. I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Hannah Wells can do on the 40 acres. If all the hype is true, she'll be one of the best Longhorns to ever put on the jersey. But we got to see how the season goes. We've put a lot of hype on some of these young women and it never came to pass. So we just got to get her in there and let her compete and see what happens. But I am looking forward to seeing her in the burnt orange this year. We got Matiah Lawson, middle infield, third baseman, power hitter, super talented. J.C. Nichols, another infielder, shortstop, third base, from Durant, Texas. Lissa Sneed, outfielder from Conroe, Texas. Super speedy, super talented, has great range, can play any position in the outfield. I know Mike White loves her, and we'll get to that a little bit later. All 4 of these freshmen are on the Softball America SEC watch list, which should tell you what the media thinks of them. All 4 are super talented. All 4 can help this team reach its goal of getting another national championship this year. Texas went into the transfer portal and got 3 players. Pitcher Brinley Gonzalez from Texas Tech. I'm surprised Texas Tech lost players the way they throwing out money to softball players. Kaya Altemeyer, senior outfielder from San Diego, California, transferred here from Arizona, was 2025 second team All Big 12. Taylor Anderson from Oklahoma State appeared in 43 games and made 5 starts for Kenny Gajewski. I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do and where Mike White would want to put her. I think she'll be playing in the outfield. She's super fast. If she can get on base, she's great at stealing bases. Kind of a Kaden Henry, Ashton Maloney prototype. Another talented player that Texas got out of the portal. Like I said, Texas doesn't really portal hunt. Mike White hasn't been a big fan of the transfer portal since he's been at Texas. He doesn't go and just take players out of the portal. He doesn't big game hunt in the portal like some programs. Oklahoma, Texas Tech, just to name a couple. All right, so I think the question on everyone's mind is, who will take Mia Scott's position at third base? Well, Mike White already said Matiah Lawson and J.C. Nichols are battling for that position. Matiah Lawson has the upper hand right now. But just because she's so far along on offense, but J.C. Nichols is further along on defense. Both players can start at the position. It's just who's going to rise up and take that spot. He want to see them compete. That's the way they eat. I know Matiah Lawson can bomb it. I saw what she did during the fall games. Big bat, super talented. J.C. Nichols, super consistent when it comes to fielding. I guess it depends on the matchup of who Mike White wants out there. But I do think Lawson is going to take that position at some point in the season. But hey, you never know. And I also want to know what the pitching rotation look like. Obviously, Kavan will be your number 1, your starting pitcher, your go-to pitcher. I think after her will be Hannah Wells. I think Wells will pass Gutierrez. I think Gutierrez will be third in the lineup, followed by Salmon and followed by Gonzalez. But I think your 1-2 punch will be Kavan and Hannah Wells. I think Hannah Wells is that good. Now, it's yet to be seen, but if everything I'm hearing is true, she has it. And you can't really explain what it is until you see it. And I think she has it. Now she just got to go out there and perform in front of the nation. And I think she's very capable of doing that. I need to see more from Salmon this year. Obviously, in the time that we did see her, a little inconsistent, but she was a freshman. I want to see if she worked on some of her weaknesses during the offseason. I want to see where she's at now. She was highly recruited out of high school. And so many times we recruit players out of high school who's highly recruited at that pitching spot, and they don't pan out. I want to see what Cambria Salmon can do. I know she has potential. She can make a good 1-2-3 punch in this pitching rotation, along with Kavan, Wells, Gonzalez, Gutierrez. If we can get her going, we can have 4 great pitchers, 4 consistent pitchers. If we can have 3 consistent pitchers, we'll be fine. 4, I know, is probably asking for too much. 5, probably won't be the case. But we can have 3 great consistent pitchers, we'll be just fine. Okay, so on the infield, Vivi is back at shortstop. Good will take over second base. Stewart will be at first base. Like I said, Lawson and Nichols are battling out third base right now. Obviously, Reese Atwood is the catcher. I think Stewart will be splitting time with Atwood sometimes as well. And the outfield is when things get really interesting. Mike White says Snead is coming along very well and that she probably will be starting in the outfield if she remains consistent. You got Altamar, who will probably most likely be starting. You got Henry, who will be starting. And you got Maloney. Now, 4 players can't start out there, Mike White, and you want to build that camaraderie out there in the outfield. So I don't know which out of these 4 players are going to be the main 3. I haven't seen Snead in action. I'm just going by what Mike White has said. I'd be happy with Altamar, Henry, and Maloney because I know how great Maloney is. But if Alyssa Snead is that good, and she could take someone's spot, I don't think she's going to take Henry's spot, center field. Mike White did say Henry could play right field too, or left field, or center field. He also said Snead can play right field or left field. So it's up. It's whoever's going to take it. And I'm interested to see what Mike White, what he's going to do with that rotation. But you got to have your 3 out there. I don't know who's going to be the first starting 3. I don't know if they're going to be on a game rotation. I don't know what he's going to do. But it's a great problem to have 4 great outfielders. And that's not even mentioning Katie Bennett. Katie Bennett plays outfield too. She just had to play second base last year because Vivi was hurt. It had to play shortstop. So Katie Bennett is going to be in the mix like Twix as well. So that's 5 potential starters in the outfield. And you got to find out who's the best 3 are on a day-to-day basis and figure out what a good rotation is. So I'm looking forward to see how Mike White's going to handle that situation. All right, so let's look at Texas softball schedule for the 2026 season. These are the key games that I picked out right away. As the season goes, there are going to be bigger matchups depending on how well teams do or how bad they do. Right now, these are the games that stood out to me the most. You got Nebraska, the very first game, February 6th and the 7th, and Jordy Ball, who's now Jordy Fromm, will be in the circle, I'm pretty sure. That's going to be a big game. Nebraska is going to be ranked in the top 10. Texas will be number 1. What more could you ask for to start the season if you're a Texas Longhorn fan? What more could you want? That's going to be a great game. Then you turn around, you got a 2-game stretch against the Washington Huskies, February 7th and February 8th. Huskies are always great. I think they're ranked number 25 right now. So you start the season off with 2 ranked teams. That's why I said we're going to find out how good this team is right away. And Mike White already said the reason why the schedule is panned out this way is because no one wants to play Texas. No one wants to play Texas in the non-conference. He said he had trouble making this schedule. You remember last year, Texas had one of the toughest non-conference schedules in the country. This year, I feel like the schedule is a little bit more weaker. And that's because no one wants that early L in their schedule going into conference play. Can I blame them? No. Now I understand what OU be going through. People talk about OU's non-conference schedule is weak. Well, it's nobody wants to play them. And you've seen the same thing that happened to OU happening to Texas. No one want to see those Longhorns on their schedule in the beginning of the year. And then after that, Texas travel out west to Stanford for the DeMarini Invitational. They go against Arizona on February 20th and the 22nd. Stanford, February the 20th. Stanford beat Texas last year. We all remember that game. I was hot pissed at that. Stanford's going to have a good team this year. And it'll be a great competition. Arizona's going to have a good team this year. Kai Altamar gets to play our old team. That'll be interesting to see. And then we start SEC play. Okay, other than the games that I just mentioned, I don't know what other team pre-conference plays that can give Texas a problem besides those 4 teams. I don't see it. I think all the rest of those games should be a W. And once SEC play starts, that's a different story. First key game that I highlighted was on March 13th versus Ole Miss in Austin. Ole Miss had a great team last year. They're going to have a great team this year. Great coach. That should be a great series, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Longhorns can do. And then the big series against Texas A&M, we all know how that can go. That game will get wild. That game's going to get sold out, and that game's going to be crazy, and the emotions are going to be high. Y'all remember what happened when A&M came to Austin? I think it was a super regional, and how that played out. They were talking trash. The fans were talking trash. The players were talking trash. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it for the sport. And I love this series for the sport too, because we didn't get to play them last year. And if y'all remember, there was a time last year when A&M was ranked number 1, but that was fool's gold. They lost in the first round. A&M got bounced from that tournament quick. Like I said, fool's gold. Texas then travels to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama on April the 2nd. You know that matchup in Tuscaloosa is always tough, because they show out in full force at Alabama softball games, and they're loud. Alabama always has a great team. I don't see why it wouldn't be any different now. Alabama's going to give Texas all they have. It should be an entertaining series and huge for SEC play. I feel like if Texas can at least win this series, they'll be sitting pretty when they go into that series against OU in Austin, which is April the 11th, the biggest circle on the schedule for me. I don't care if Texas lose all their games as long as they beat Oklahoma and win that series. We didn't do it last year, but this time we'll be in Austin. You bring a talented Texas team, talented Oklahoma team. I'm sure both teams will be top ranked depending on how SEC play goes. That's going to be a big game. Once again, just like the A&M game, a lot of emotion. That's a tough stretch. Aggies, Bama, then OU. Ooh. And you got Baylor somewhere in between there. That's a tough stretch for the Longhorns. But that'll show you just how good this team is. If this team can make it through that stretch, winning most of those games, Texas will be in great shape. They have the talent, they have the skills, so there's no reason why they can't do it, but it's easier said than done, right? And that game against OU is going to be sold out. Patty Gaskell is going to want revenge. She's going to be salty because we knocked OU out of the College World Series and we won a national championship. She got to go explain to all those Sooners why she let Texas win the Natty. It took their sport. Softball's OU sport, and Texas jacked their chain. It's like we jack everything. Just snatched their chain. So she got to go explain to people up there after why that happened. She's been hearing how great Texas is all season. You better believe she got those players ready to go. You better believe those OU players are going to be coming in for revenge. They had to hear all year how great Texas is, and they hate Texas. This is their sport. We came into their house, ate their food, took their Cheetos, drank their soda, turned on their TV, played on their iPad, used their shower, and used their towels and their toilet paper. Oh, you know they mad. They are mad. And it will be a great series. I can't wait to watch that one. After that, we got Oklahoma State. They come to Austin on April 22nd for a midweek game. Oklahoma State is always tough. I don't know how good their team is going to be, but Gajewski always has a good team, and they always play well against Texas. Everyone plays well against Texas. Now I don't even need to say that anymore. Everyone wants to play Texas and beat Texas. Texas also has to play against Georgia. Georgia was great last year. Don't know how great they're going to be this year, but it's the SEC. Everyone has talent. It's going to be a tough matchup for Texas. Also, Kentucky, April 24th in Lexington. Should be a good one. Kentucky was okay, mediocre last year, but still have a lot of talent, especially with the transfer portal. Things can change. Any road series this year can be tough for the Longhorns because you just never know what team is going to come out to play. Texas then comes back to Austin to take on the Razorbacks. And we know what Arkansas can do. I think Courtney Day graduated. She went off for Arkansas last year, transfer from Texas. I remember Taylor Ellsworth also used to play for Arkansas. A lot of our players transferred to Arkansas for some reason. I don't know what it is, but Texas is a pipeline for Arkansas. And how about Mike White not losing any players to the transfer portal this year? Besides Rachel Wells, who's a walk-on. Texas didn't lose any scholarship players to the transfer portal. How about that? What does that say about this program? All the players leaving. Look what Texas Tech did. Texas Tech poached everybody from everywhere. If your player was good in All-American, Texas Tech took them. And that's why I can't give Texas Tech credit, man. Because even Oklahoma don't be doing stuff like that. What Oklahoma will do is they'll take your picture. Most of the time, Oklahoma going to use the talent they recruited. They'll just snatch a couple pictures here and there. A couple All-Americans here and there. No, not Texas Tech, though. Texas Tech has poached almost every single starting position on their roster. It's a manufactured, paid-for team. And I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't respect that. Like, you lose respect because of that. Like, if you're going to win, like, at least win with some of your people. Paying for a championship is just outright, I don't even know. But that's insane to me that they can just do that. Just because Texas beat them in the national championship and just because they want to come out and win a championship in softball because they can't take over other sports. What they did was pick one sport to dominate and put up money into outside of football, and it was softball. I don't see the baseball team poaching players. I don't see the women's basketball team poaching players. I just see football and softball, and they created a damn near Miami Heat super team. But here's the thing. You can go and buy all these players that you want. Doesn't mean you're going to win. the way you think you're going to win, more than just getting the best player from each team. It's communication, it's bonding, it's chemistry. And you don't even know if all those players are even going to like each other. Because when you take the best from each team, everyone wants that number one spot. Everyone wants to be the face of the team. And Andre already got that locked down pat. So a lot of these young women got to take a back seat to the spotlight. And I don't know how well they're going to like that. But yeah, Texas Tech went and poached pretty much anybody they can get their little grimy hands on who was great and paid them money to come play for them. Nobody don't want to go live in dusty Lubbock. I'm sorry, they don't. You poached those players. You offer those players a bag. They took it, and now you got them. Not because they love being a Red Raider, not because they love Lubbock, because they love money. They love green. They don't love red and black. Let's keep it a buck. And that really grinds my gears. There's no other team out there doing that besides Texas. Like, I can't even get on Oklahoma for doing that. Because Oklahoma took Bergeron from LSU, but they weren't snatching All-Americans from people like that, like Texas Tech was. Well, Oklahoma don't even have the money. We all know Oklahoma broke. Once they played Chavez that $1 million and all the football players that they paid, their options were limited anyways when it came to softball. They couldn't just snatch the way Texas Tech snatched. But even if they could, they wouldn't do it. They'll take 1 or 2, maybe 3, but they're not going to take the whole roster. And Texas Tech should be ashamed of themselves. And that's why if they lose, if they lose, if they don't perform, if they underperform, I can't wait to see the backlash on Twitter. It's going to be hilarious because they're paying for everything and it didn't pan out the way they wanted to pan out. Okay, so here's my prediction for Texas 2026 softball season. I think the Longhorns make it back to the College World Series, and I think we make it back to the National Championship. However, I'm not so sure, I'm not 100% sure, let me just say that we'll repeat. We'll get close. I think there's a 20% chance that we'll repeat. I think we're running to Tech again. Might get us. Might. Tech has more talent than Texas on paper because they plucked All-Americans from everywhere. Now, my opinion will change if I see how this Texas team plays and I see how the Tech team plays. It can go one way or the other. It can go Oklahoma Tech. It can go Oklahoma Texas. It can go Tech Texas. Texas, Oklahoma. Those are 3 teams I think that are going to be your top 3 teams. And one of those teams or 2 of those teams may be playing in the national championship this year. And the season will decide which one. But Texas does have a chance to repeat. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but they do have a good chance. They will make it to the College World Series. And after that, may the chips lay where they fall. I've been a fan of Texas softball since Cat Osterman took the mound. It was great to see this team finally accomplish their dreams. And it was a pleasure to watch. I enjoyed every second of it, the ups, the downs, watching this team overcome adversity, injuries, watching Tegan on the mound, watching Reese, watching all these young women come together for a bigger purpose. This is a tribute to the 2025 national champions, Texas softball. With that being said, Longhorn Nation, it's been a pleasure. I'm your host, North Carter, and you've been listening to Burnt Orange Rising. Until next time, hook 'em.
I don't need a spotlight to know who I am. I've been chosen by the struggle, I was shaped by the plan. Every tear told a story, every step took me higher. I'm standing in my truth, yeah, I walk through the fire. I'm a champion, feel it deep in my soul. Every heartbeat reminds me I'm in control. I don't fold, I don't run, I don't quit when it's hard. I was made for this moment, I was born to go far. I'm a champion, yeah, I carry the weight. Still I shine through the doubt, through the love, through the hate. Hands to the sky, let the whole world see. Ain't nobody stopping what I'm destined to be. They only see the glory, never count the cost. Never felt the nights when I thought it was lost. Had faith when the odds tried to block my way. Turn pain into power, put my fears on delay. Stay true to my heart when the path got thin. Every closed door taught me how to win. Now my name in the air, hear the crowd say my name. I'm not chasing approval, I'm just honoring the game. I don't move off ego, I move off belief. I survived every season, every valley beneath. If the road gets darker, I just rise with the dawn. I was built for the pressure, I was born to be strong. I'm a champion, feel it deep in my soul. Every heartbeat reminds me I'm in control. I don't fold, I don't run, I don't quit when it's hard. I was made for this moment, I was born to go far. I'm a champion, yeah, I carry the weight. Still I shine through the doubt, through the love, through the hate. Hands to the sky, let the whole world see. Ain't nobody stopping what I'm destined to be. If you fall, get up. If they doubt, stand tall. Every test you face is a crown when you break through the wall. No fear in my eyes, no chains on my feet. I earned everything, done. Yeah, I already won. Even me for the finish line, I knew I was the one. From the struggle to the shine, every chapter complete. I'm a champion forever, yeah, victory in me.